powerful because you don't think about representation, you don't think about how important it is for people to see themselves on screen like in a real way. And that's where you realize like how powerful representation is. Because if you are a person in a wheelchair, and how many movies come along where the lead character is in a wheelchair? There's virtually none.
In recent years, great strides have been made with representation of different races, sexual orientations, and backgrounds in the movie industry. However, one underrepresented group has gone nearly completely unnoticed: those with physical disabilities. Of all places, our school notices that this is a glaring problem. In a recent article by College Magazine, the University of Illinois was named the second most accessible campus in the country. Not only does UIUC offer plenty of resources specifically for disabled students, but the university goes to great lengths to make students with physical disabilities feel like any other student on campus. Despite the progress our campus has made in terms of accessibility, the same cannot be said for the movie industry. Only 2.5% of all characters were depicted with a disability in the top grossing 100 films of 2017. And in the few movies where the lead character does have a physical disability, it is often their defining characteristic. This symbolic annihilation, or underrepresentation of a certain group, can be incredibly damaging to young viewers with disabilities. They need to see themselves living out a normal and successful life, not a life dominated by their disability.
Hey, Dad. I need your help.
It's not going to be easy.
I don't need easy. I just need possible.
Soul Surfer is a story based on the life of Bethany Hamilton, a surfer who lost her left arm from a shark attack. Throughout the film, she recuperates from her injury and learns how to surf with one arm. Although she has many difficulties trying to surf with one arm, she finishes with a respectable position in a surfing competition and embraces her disability. While the movie Soul Surfer is focused around Bethany losing her arm, the actor cast to play her, Anna Sophia Robb, has both arms but has one arm CGI'd out for most of the film. According to the Washington Post, in a report by the Ruderman Family Foundation, 5% of characters with disabilities are played by actors with shared disabilities. The question then is, why didn't they cast someone who actually has a missing limb? By not casting actors with the same disabilities as their characters, the movie industry is symbolically annihilating people with physical disabilities from the silver screen by giving their parts to able-bodied actors.
Me Before You is a romantic film about Louisa Clark, a young and quirky girl who becomes a caregiver for Will Traynor, a wealthy young man paralyzed from a motorcycle accident 2 years prior. Because of his injury, he feels helpless, which leads him to have a very cynical outlook on life. Over time, Will falls in love with Louisa, but he holds back, scared that he'll prevent her from living her life to the fullest due to his physical limitations. Life was looking upward until the time of the accident. Immediately after that, he started to push everyone away and didn't want to feel like a burden to those close to him. In fact, his physical restraints redefined his entire personality. Even though it may not be what the producers encoded, a viewer with the same paralysis as Will might watch the movie and decode that their physical limitations would make their life not worth living.
I want to be in Paris as me. The old me. I remember every sensation. I don't want those memories erased by the struggle to fit behind a table.
Despite Louisa's constant efforts to make him have a positive outlook towards life, he was resistant to it and didn't feel like it was worth it. Still, we can see slight improvements in Will's attitude. Even though Louisa has a positive impact on Will's life, he feels like he can't completely let go of the fact that he's restricted by his disability. So, in fear that he'll hold back Louisa's carefree and adventurous personality, Will commits assisted suicide and leaves enough money behind for Louisa to live her dreams.
In the media industry, there is a glaring underrepresentation of characters with physical disabilities. In the same analysis conducted by the Ruderman Family Foundation, people with disabilities make up approximately 20% of the US population, but only make up 2% of all characters on TV. To put this underrepresentation into more succinct terms, Judith Heumann, Senior Fellow at the Ford Foundation, says, "People need to see themselves. People with disabilities are like any other group. When you don't see yourself, you feel invisible." On top of that, there have been large controversies regarding the misrepresentation of characters with physical disabilities. Typically, these disabled characters are portrayed as objects to be pitied rather than people with interesting lives and stories. In society, large amounts of progress are being made for those with physical disabilities. While new infrastructure is increasing accessibility, the stereotypes and portrayals of them in mainstream media aren't helping them one bit. As a result, we need to increase not just representation, but accurate representation. They deserve better.